Every single day, you and thousands of other people enter into agreements or contracts. When you hire a specialist to fix something that you've broken, you enter into a contract of service with the specialist. If you take your television to a workshop to be repaired, you are also entering into a contract of service with the workshop. In project management, you, as project manager, will need to procure resources for the project and enter into agreements to do so. To procure something means to acquire it. In the context of a project, the process of procurement entails buying or getting resources needed to perform the project work. These may be products, services, or results. Procurement involves the extensive use of contracts between buyer and seller, so procurement management is the process of creating or selecting, managing, and controlling those contracts. Procurement management involves two important kinds of activities: managing contracts with suppliers and clients by developing and controlling any changes, and ensuring the project team fulfills its contractual obligations. There are several examples of activities that may be involved in procurement. Reviewing activity resource requirements to determine what goods and services are required, determining which goods and services need to be sourced externally, examining the schedule and determining when goods and services are needed throughout the project, overseeing the creation of contracts with suppliers, and ensuring all contractual obligations of suppliers are met. Suppose a construction company is building a wall. The project manager first determines what resources and services are required for the project. These include the bricks, cement, and masonry tools. The project manager then looks at procuring the resources. In this case, the company supplies the labor and building tools internally, but he sources the bricks and cement externally. He examines the project schedule to determine when the resources and skills are needed. After selecting sellers, he oversees the creation of the contracts. At the end of the project, he ensures that all contractual obligations are met. You and your project team may be buying a product or selling it, so you could be the buyer or seller in a contractual relationship. There are a number of names that are given to both buyers and sellers depending on the type of project, the work being done, or the kind of contract. A buyer can be known as a client, customer, prime contractor, contractor, acquiring organization, governmental agency, service requester, or purchaser. Simply put, the buyer is the party that provides monetary compensation for a product or service. A seller can also be known as a contractor, subcontractor, vendor, service provider, or supplier. The basic rule is that the seller is the party providing a service or product. In exchange, the seller receives monetary compensation. A project team isn't limited to one of these roles, though. More than likely, the team will be engaged in a number of agreements, which means that the team can be buyer for one agreement and seller for another. Say you've entered into an agreement to manage a mall upgrade. This agreement is the basis of a project for you and the project team, where you are the seller and the mall owners are the buyer. A large portion of the project work is building and construction, so you hire a contractor for this. You have therefore become the buyer and the contractor is the seller of his services. The contractor is involved in his own project, which is to provide the service to you. You also hire an artist to create a sculpture you intend to display at the entrance of the mall. Again, you are the buyer and the artist is the seller. She carries out her own project to create the sculpture. In summary, procurement management is the process of managing contracts with suppliers and clients and ensuring contractual obligations are fulfilled by the project team. In procurement contracts, parties are either buyers or sellers. Because numerous contracts are often required in a project, the project team may find themselves in both roles. Though change occurs naturally in any project as work progresses, in an agile environment there is typically constant change, including with the project team. An adaptive environment may create a unique situation in terms of procuring services, where sellers may actually be used as an extension of the project team. In an agile environment where collaboration is a strong focus, the lines between the buyer and seller may be blurred. The buyer and seller role may be shared along with the procurement risks and reward in such a model. To facilitate ongoing collaboration while ensuring the buyer and seller roles still remain established and co-productive, a good idea is to use a Master Services Agreement or MSA to guide the overall relationship. An MSA outlines the contractual relationship and expectations of all parties, but allows for the flexibility and change to individual roles and contributions necessary in an adaptive environment.